So, you know, we spend a lot of time talking about hunting. Well, part of our hunting and part of our traveling is traveling with the dogs. So when we hit the road, I usually have 2 dogs with me. They're my dogs, and so the dog thing has kind of become and is my responsibility. It's one of the things I love most about waterfowl hunting. We use all gunner kennels. Of all the dog boxes out there that we have used and I have messed with over the years, these have definitely stood far and above as the best. The thing I like about these is I can put them in the truck, strap them down, strap them together with the gunner strap. The thing about these is when we roll down the road, number one, we're confident in the safety aspect for the dogs. So the dogs stay comfortable. They spend most of their time in the crates because, again, the hunting is usually only a few hours. But these crates have become like their second home. They're warm, they're safe, they're cool when the weather's warm. The thing I really like about these is that this time of year especially, you know, when we get up in the morning, it's usually below freezing, it's cold. So they'll sleep in the crates overnight, they'll stay warm. But in the afternoon, we're hitting 50 freaking degrees right now in February. So I can roll up the sides and back, I can pop these cold weather doors off, and they can get all the air they need. So Gunner really nailed it. They make 2 different pad options. They've got a performance pad, which the performance pad is this, you know, rubberized, thin pad. If it's the summertime and we're training and we're in water and it's wet and muddy, these things are awesome. You can literally pull them out, hose them out, and they're good to go. They fit right in those crates. And then they make an orthopedic bed. This is basically just a soft cushion bed. And what we do, because of the amount of miles we travel and the time on the road, I actually run them both. So this black performance pad's, you know, it's only about 1 inch thick, and then the orthopedic pad sits on top. Again, on any given year, it's really possible for my dogs to be in the truck with us for over 50,000 miles a year. And so there's a lot of time, a lot of jarring, a lot of gravel roads. And also when we're sitting static and they're just hanging out, there's just a lot of time laying in the crate. So I like to run both of these pads. Dogs seem to be very comfortable. They're warm in the kennels, they're warm in the crates. Works really well for us. One thing I like is these locking latches on the gunner doors, so the dogs can't, you know, push their way out or have an issue. And if we ever felt like we needed to or in town or something, I always keep the door latch key on my keychain. If I need to, I can lock that as well to keep people from opening the door from the outside. So it's been a really great setup, one that the dogs like, one that we like, and just kind of a mainstay of our system for traveling with the dogs. Feeding and watering on the road, you know, anybody that's ever traveled with dogs knows that feeding dogs on the road and getting dogs to eat consistently, you know, they sometimes can get fickle when you're traveling as far as eating and drinking. So one thing I do, I obviously bring the same food that we bring from home. So we use a Gunner food crate. Awesome. This is the smaller sized one. We also have the bigger sized one, but for most of our trips, they're a week or less. I don't need the great big one that's even longer than this. So we run this. I've got my measuring bowl in here, the same food, everything that they eat at home. This can stay in the back of the truck in warm weather, cold weather, rain, snow, shine, everything stays dry. This thing is awesome. The other thing is these Gunner food bowls. And so obviously a dog bowl to some extent is a dog bowl, right? But the thing I like about these is these rubber lids and they seal. So the reason that's important, like this morning when we went hunting as we were leaving the Airbnb, I was able to fill up a couple bowls of water. You can see there's water in there, and I just slapped that lid on. So when I'm out in the field and we're done hunting and the dogs need a drink, I can just give them a drink. The other thing is I can travel with this full of water. They stack great, so the dogs always have water in the truck. Everything's good to go there. They've got the food. Really a slick system for that. Couple other items we bring, you know, people talk about first aid. We always have first aid kits in the trailer. So I actually have a first aid kit in the truck and the trailer in case we drop the trailer and we're off scouting or something and something goes wrong. So we use these kits from Gundog Outdoors. You can get their field trauma kit. It's a pretty extensive first aid kit for a dog. seems to have everything that you could need in there. One thing that I do like to do, and for those of you that are going to travel with your dog, I would talk to your local vet and see if you can get a prescription for Rimadyl or carprofen. It's the same thing. It's like Advil and ibuprofen. It's basically an Advil for dogs. So if they get a little sore, you know, they twist something, they tweak something, they cut something, or maybe they're just sore from a long day of hunting and you're hunting them day in and day out, I think that carprofen Rimadyl is really great to add to this kit so that you have it. These are nice, got the handle. These just hang on the E-track in the trailer right in the front. So whether it's me or anybody on the Flying V team, if a dog got hurt, they know how to get to this and we can address the need with the dog. This water bottle from Gundog Outdoors I really like. It's one for when we're in the field and hunting. Obviously when it's colder like this, I tend not to use it as much, but if the weather's warm and we're hunting, you know, it's 50 to 70 plus degrees. Early season North Dakota this year was 90. I fill this thing up, dog can water right out of it, so he can have water during the hunt as well. We don't do a lot of it, but if we're ever upland hunting, I also fill this up, keep it in my upland vest. Works great to give the dogs a drink of water. When we're on the road, so my dogs are both older, right? So Creek is 11, Lead is gonna be 6 next week. They're both really well trained. We almost never use leashes on them because we air them out in spots that are safe. They're in the field hunting with us. We're at an Airbnb, they can air out in the yard. Almost never need to use leashes. However, I always keep a pair of slip leads in the truck. And the reason is, you know, there's a lot of different scenarios, but I think, you know, say you were in town and something happened with the truck and, you know, the truck had to get some service done or you had a fender bender or whatever. There's a lot of situations where I might need to get the dogs out in town where there's cars and traffic and things like that. And obviously I would want the slip leads for that. So I always keep a couple of slip leads with me in the truck as well. In the trailer, you know, we also have our boxes for our e-collar systems in these boxes. So I just grabbed one of these little, kind of a Pelican knockoff case to hold them. I've got a couple of e-collars for in the field hunting. I've got the chargers, the charging systems for them. Everything's in here. My transmitter's actually on my lanyard in my Go box that I use as a blind bag. So just keeps everything in here. It's all in one place. Lets me charge it at night back at the house if we need to. Everything's good to go. It's waterproof. It can bounce around in the trailer and it's not going to get hurt. I also run a second set of e-collars, a whole other set just in case. So for example, you know, I'd normally run the Garmin system for day-to-day hunting, Garmin Sport Pro. If one of the collars goes out, it's not a big deal. I've got 2 collars. I can just swap collars out. I'm usually only running 1 dog at a time anyway. However, if something went wrong with my transmitter and I had an issue with that and it broke or got lost or whatever, you know, I'd kind of be SOL with the Garmin system. So, and again, maybe it's the, you know, the Eagle Scout in me that likes to be prepared. I don't know, but I like to run a whole second system as well. So we have a backup system. Luckily, knock on wood, we've never had to use it, but just good to have in there for those purposes. And so that's kind of the you know, the equipment that we bring with us. Obviously traveling with dogs adds a little bit of work, but I mean, for me and most of you waterfowl hunters can agree, dogs are arguably the best part about waterfowl hunting. So I have no intentions of not ever traveling with dogs. And in fact, we've got a new puppy that was born yesterday who's going to be joining our team here in a couple of months. And so this summer and early season, we'll be traveling with a little terrorist new puppy, little Chesapeake Bay Retriever puppy. So it'll be fun. We'll have a pup with us. That's a whole nother level of work and commitment while you're on the road. But again, it's how these dogs get to be reliable, comfortable with travel, not have issues with travel, as they just, from the time they're puppies, they come everywhere with us and they just live the same lifestyle we live. So they're a lot of fun to have.